Hello there, and welcome back to another Intro to Excel video. As always, I am David Eitel, and today we're going to be talking about date formatting, how to use the year, month, and date formulas, and then the year fraction formula. These formulas are not that widely used, meaning they don't have to be used in every spreadsheet. They don't always really have a place to be used, but they have real value when working with different types of dates or managing different kind of time systems. We won't get into that in today's video, but you can check out some of our other ones about timekeeping or periodic, figuring out windows of times. You'll see that down the road. So let's get started. In understanding dates, we have to understand how they are typically just measured in Excel. If we were to type in a date like today, which gives us, if we type in the today function and close our parentheses, we get today, 5/14/2021, or 2021. If we wanted to, we could turn this into a number, just a general number. You can see it's 44,330. The way Excel looks at dates is it stores them as just as numbers, right, as integers, as variables. In fact, you can see the 0.00 indicates that that's 12 o'clock, or it doesn't actually include a time. Today and now are two really different things. Time is also stored in a number. So for instance, let's say we grabbed this and we paste it as a value, and we say 0.5, right, just 0.5. If we want to convert this back to a date, we'll come up here to our formatting on the ribbon. We'll come to date, and we'll scroll down to find a date and a time variable. And we like to use military standard. Right there is 12 o'clock. Now that's 12 p.m., right, not 12 a.m. If we were to change that to 5 point, let's say 655. Now let's make something more complicated. 68, right? Let's get rid of that extra dot. There we go. And we'll change this again to our time. In fact, you can do just time if you want. So that's 4:19 p.m. You can do date and time together. Now, all of this, again, is the value that's in the cell is just a number. Whether or not you see the date, the time, whether or not it's month, day, year, day, month, all of that has to do with the formatting. So if you're working with numbers and you're trying to get a date to kind of cooperate and be the way you want it to be, sometimes it's good to just create your own. You could take a date from an invoice or something like to 12/15, and you could say, I want just the year, and we'll close. Whoops, we need to grab our date here. We'll close the parentheses, and you can see now we just have the year. We can also just grab the month as well, just the month from this, and we'll close the parentheses, and we'll see we'll get February. And if we want the day, we'll just hit day. Pretty simple, kind of the same idea, just differently, right? That what is happening is that these formulas are looking for the specific value for the year, month, and day based on the formatting. We can also reverse engineer that, right? We can build something by using the date formula, which is basically this, equals, let's do it this way. We'll just re-engineer what we have. We'll grab this, we'll paste it as a value. You can be used to that, Control V, or Control C as a copy, Control V, or paste as just value if you do Alt V. 2/12/15 is what we get. Now let's remake this, equals date, and that's how we use this formula. We select the year, comma, the month, comma, the day, and close the parentheses and hit enter. There we go. Very, very simple. Right? If you can understand how they're formatted and how they are stored, you can kind of play around with those numbers differently. It's really helpful if you're trying to build like a system that operates on like days of the week or months of, how many months it's been, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. You can kind of build different formulas around representing those dates. One thing that's to keep in mind though, right, is the weekday can sometimes be valuable. Weekday, especially when working with schedules, like for instance in our employee database, you might be working with schedules where people are going to work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday to Friday. Sometimes being able to format that and automate it can just save you a lot of time. So we're going to pick the weekday from this calendar. Like what day of the week was 2/12/15? I don't know. And we're going to say we want that as 1 would be Sunday and Saturday would be 7. So that would be the 1 modifier, and we get 5. Now what's 5, right? So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? That's not easy to play with. Let's make that look like the weekday that we want it to. And I'm just going to grab this and we'll just do a nice little build it over here. So that's the same number, right? We're just playing with the same result. We're going to change the formatting here. We're going to do a custom format. You may not be accustomed to this, but in custom formatting, if you know, again, how something is stored or how it's formatted in the back of Excel, you can kind of change the way it is represented. So if we want to change this from a number to a, let's say the weekday, we'll use DD, which is kind of the universal, like MMM is month, DDD is day, and YYY is years. So if we do DDD, you can see we get Thursday. If we did 2 Ds or 3, it would do, THR. In fact, we can show you that. TH, if we do this to 2, TH or THU. So again, that can be kind of useful just to visualize stuff. If you want it to say Thursday instead of Friday, it's better than building an if function. It's like if 1, then Monday, if 2. Don't do that. Just change your formatting. It also allows the number to remain something. Like if I put 1 here, it becomes Sunday, 2, right, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 is Saturday. So very, very useful to use it that way. We'll get into that. You'll see that anytime we use different dates or functions, we'll be using some of these formattings. Not 100% useful, but very valuable to understand how it's functioning and how it's formatted on the back end. Now here's something that is useful. Let's talk about years of service. When we're building our employee database, we want to have a years of service column. It's very valuable to have that when we talk about tenure, we talk about skill, when we talk about all the different things that come into maybe annual raises, who knows. We want to be able to very quickly say who's been here the longest, who's been here the newest. And looking at a pile of dates right here, it'd be kind of hard to figure out who's been here. This person's been here very, very recently. Someone's been here for maybe 11 years. You could also filter this, right? You could filter your start date by, oldest to newest, but that doesn't actually tell you the years of service. So that's where the year frac function comes in, right? Year frac is basically the year from a start date to an end date, and then in a full number or an integer if we need it to be. So we're going to start the start date as their start date. Very easy. That's why we keep that and manage that. Because none of these staff members are retired, we're going to put an end date as today. Now, the reason we would use the today function in this year frac function is because as this sheet is saved and used next month, a month after that, a year from now, it's always going to keep the year fraction or the years of service continually updated. We could change this, like let's say this person retired, we could then put in a manual date if we wanted to. We could put 02/22/2055, whatever we want. But we're going to say that technically we're just only rolling up to today. So today. We'll close that. And then it's going to say, the last comma here is going to say basis, like what do you want this to be measured in? And we always like to measure in actuals. We'll close the parentheses. And there we go, 6.2 years. We cascade that down. And let's see who's been here the longest. We've had Oliver Martinez. Looks like Charles Gray. Dave Gonzalez, Brady Gonzalez. So yeah, looks like it's going to be Charles. Again, not necessarily something you're going to use all the time, but very valuable to have on hand, and a good idea to understand how years and dates work. Hope you found this valuable, and we'll see you in the next one.